Good afternoon. This is Jasmine. Um, she may be running things today. I'm not entirely sure. I can't completely convince her that this is not her desk, her microphone, and she already knows it's her chair. So we'll do the best we can, Jasmine and I. She's having kind of a rough day. Her best friend and pal is not well this morning, and I think she's mourning. So if you don't mind, she'll probably be in and out of things for a while. I'll stick around the whole time, I promise. Good morning, Heidi. You're right. Good afternoon. See, I fall right into it. Uh, Thank you, Dana. Dana says hi, Jasmine. Mm, she's grumpy right now. Good morning, Jennifer. Hail, the gang's here. Yay. We have just days left, don't we, to the election? One weekend, 2 days. Gulp, gulp. It's an exciting time. And we're just going to, aren't we, pray for the highest and greatest good. We think we know what that is, um, and so vote accordingly. There, vote. I promise not to make it a whole theme this morning, um, but I might next Sunday. Who knows? Good afternoon, Brenda. At least Brenda knows what time it is, unlike some of us. Um, Lots of love to Jasmine. Yes, thank you, Heidi. Hi, Donna. Glad you're here. Oh, this is fun. It's such fun when everybody starts showing up. I know you understand, Dana, way too well, and I kind of wish you didn't, for your sake. Good afternoon, Lainey. Glad to have you here. We're just doing a whole good morning, good afternoon. Try to figure out what time of day it is. So, how is everybody this morning? What's on your mind? What is in your heart? What's going on for you on this last few days of October, leading up to Halloween and leading up to a very important election? Lots to think about right now, and so leave your thinking caps on. You know, it's a good time to be thinking. So let's do that. Let's think. Let's coordinate our mind and our heart and what we know, our wisdom, and do the right thing. If you haven't voted yet, that's okay. There's still plenty of time, but make sure you do that. Have a plan. I like that idea this year. I don't remember seeing it before, but everybody is saying have a plan. Have a plan to get yourself to wherever you need to be to vote to get that done. Have a plan. So if you've already voted, great. You've enacted your plan. And if you haven't, make a plan. Get it going. This is important. Um, I feel like it's the most important election in my lifetime. And I voted for Kennedy's. What you think? What you think? Jennifer is keeping us apprised on a regular basis about how many days are left. It's on her Facebook page. So if you're ever in doubt, just find Jennifer's page and it will tell you how many days there are. Hello, Jasmine. You're back. I am under her control. She is the oldest of our cats, having been around for 15 or 16 years. I lose track at this stage. Um, but her buddy is not well, if you didn't hear my opening remarks. So we've been discussing that, and I think she's just depressed. And she's grumpy. And she loves him. So there we go. Oops, and now the dogs are barking. Um, so we're fine. We're fine in here. Brenda says there was even a line to drop off her ballot. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Heidi's goes in the box today. Jennifer, I don't think you were old enough to vote for a Kennedy. Ah, so here we go. Here we go. There is so much attention right now around the election that between that and pandemics that we all have to work with, that it's almost easy to forget that the 31st is Halloween. And while we're at it, because this is a strange occurrence, I think. The 31st is Halloween. That's Saturday. I don't imagine too many of you are going to be out there trick-or-treating, but you might. Be careful if you are. Wear a mask is what I want to say. But if you're out trick-or-treating, you probably are going to be wearing a mask. Wear a mask that protects you under that mask if you must. And then the next day, the clocks go back an hour the next day. Or Saturday night after you've trick-or-treated and come home, set your clocks back an hour so that you'll have the right time on Sunday, which is the day that daylight savings time comes to an end. So busy weekend. And then catch your breath, because Tuesday following that, of course, is Election Day. And we'll probably all be up very late that night. We may still probably not know what's going on unless there's a landslide. But it's a busy week. So take care of yourself. Protect yourself. Heidi's not trick-or-treating. She's just tricking. I like it. Okay, good, Peggy. Your ballot goes in today. Jennifer is going to commune with Jasmine. The Jays are going to commune. Okay, she says she's grumpy too. Well, let's see if I can fix that. Oh, I hear you. I don't particularly want an extra hour of 2020 either. This is going to be the year I think we're all going to be very glad to see end. Now, what we need to do is not bring all this stuff with us, because then we'll just screw up another year. And one's plenty, don't you think? So, let's talk. Let's talk. Hold on while I find things here. So I was leafing through a magazine the other day, and I ran across an ad for a paper shredder. I don't even know why I bothered to read it, except that in big bold letters it claimed that I needed the shredder immediately, right now, because without it I might at any moment be the victim of identity theft. Too late. They got me 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a pain. Anyway, the ad said that 10 million people a year are the victims of identity theft, and that it costs an average of $800 to reclaim your identity, and that the average person expends over 300 hours of time reclaiming their identity once it is stolen. Now, I don't think it cost me $800 to sort it all out. I don't. The credit card companies were amazing, and I had to take the time to file, as it turned out, a couple of police reports. and do a lot of paperwork. So time, yes. I don't know if it was 300 hours. I didn't keep track. But it really didn't cost me much money at all. So I wasn't thrilled with the ad for the paper shredder. Now, here's what I know myself, having, according to the police, been a victim of identity theft. I will not call myself a victim, but that's what they called me. Someone can steal your wallet. They can steal your money. They can steal your credit cards. They can go through your trash and steal your social security card number and your driver's license number and your phone number and all kinds of personal identification you didn't even know was in your trash. And with that information, if they are smart enough, they can gain access to your bank accounts and your charge accounts, and they can buy all kinds of stupid things in your name. Well, the people who tried to steal my identity bought all kinds of stupid things. They can make it really uncomfortable and inconvenient for you, no doubt about it. But what they have stolen is information about your identity, and some money and some time. But it turns out in the long run that the way to clean the mess up begins with you proving that you are who you say you are. Proving your identity. Which, if they had in fact stolen, you wouldn't be able to prove, because it would be gone. They would have it, and you wouldn't have it anymore. So, in spite of what the police call it, it isn't your identity that is stolen. It couldn't be. You are who you are. And even without the paperwork you carry around, you can ultimately prove it. Your identity is, by definition, according to Random House, the condition of being oneself and not another. The condition or character as to who a person is. The exact likeness in nature or qualities. And it is, most importantly, I believe, the state or fact of remaining the same one, even under varying aspects or conditions. The state or fact of remaining the same one, even under varying aspects or conditions. I'll get back to that in a minute, because that's really important. Anyway, in France, and to my understanding throughout most of Europe, citizens are given a carte nationale d'identité. I'm sure I just screwed that all up, but you got it. Which you carry around with you to prove to the authorities that you are who you are, should you need to prove that. It's an important document, don't get me wrong, but it is still not the person's real identity. By definition, it is not the condition or the character of the person. It is not the self of the person. It is an identification card. It can be replaced if lost or stolen, simply by virtue of proving who you are, which you can, because you have your identity. I'm not saying it isn't inconvenient. Trust me, I know it's inconvenient. I am saying it isn't fatal. You aren't going to disappear or dissolve because you've lost your identity. Someone else is not going to sit down to dinner with your family, say they are you, and get away with it. These hackers are not the pod people from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. These are 21st century thieves who are out there hacking computers and copying wallets and going through trash cans to steal statistical information about other people so that they can gain access to money and maybe even investments that are not theirs. While lives are disrupted and money is pilfered, no one's real identity is being stolen. So, satisfied with my version of the truth, having gone through almost all of those thought processes while staring at the ad, I put the magazine down and sort of drifted off, secure in the knowledge that no one could actually steal my identity. And besides, I already own a shredder, so I'm double safe. I'm careful with my bills and documents, more so now than I ever was before. I shred anything I'm not sure of. I don't give out important information on the phone, not anymore. No one is going to steal my identity. And then I came to with a start. What if they did? What if they really did? What if they really did steal my identity? What if I woke up one morning and I wasn't there anymore? Who would be there instead? Would anyone miss me? Would I miss me? And if we did, who would we be missing since I no longer had an identity? It's a somewhat unsettling question. So, I'm getting to it. Here's my question for you this morning. If someone stole your identity, not your identification, but your identity, yourself that is not like any other, your exact likeness in nature and qualities, if they stole that, who would they have? What would they be getting? Would it be worth the effort? Okay, so Halloween is next Saturday. And some of you, even if you're staying home, will put on costumes just to kind of be in the spirit of the thing. You'll be a pirate or a ghost or a politician and other silly things. But the truth is, Halloween or not, we all put on costumes all the time. We all put on clothes and attitudes that change our identity and cover up who we really are. And we pretend to be someone or something else other than who we truly are. It's not all bad. I'm not saying it is. Some costumes are fun, and some just accentuate aspects of what we already enjoy being or doing. I have my minister costumes, and the minister has her own special set of costumes. She's got Sunday church costumes and Facebook Live costumes and weekday meeting costumes and funeral costumes and other special minister costumes for special minister occasions. But I also have a mom costume and a sweetheart costume and a writer costume and a wedding officiant costume and even a it's my day off and I hope no one sees me in this costume. And each of those costumes has a personality attached to it. But also, somewhere in the back of my closet, if I look carefully, I might also find an I'm not worthy costume, or an I'll never get this to work costume, and I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop costume, and a few others, mostly too scary to mention. And each one of them has a personality as well. I'm not fond of most of the costumes in the back of the closet. Nonetheless, I have been known to pull them back out occasionally and put them on and wear them for a while, or a day, or more. But here's the truth. The more I know who I really am, the more I insist on my own identity. The state or fact of remaining the same one, even under varying aspects or conditions. Thank you, Random House. The less often I find myself in that part of the closet or in need of those costumes, the better I like me. And though I may be tempted once in a while, most of the time I just look at the costume and choose to walk away and deal with whatever's going on in my mind. And what I know is this. Though you cannot steal my true identity, you and I do have a good deal in common. I already am what you are. And you are what I am. And we are all individualized centers in the life of God. You and I are both an absolute identity in the universe. We are a center of God consciousness. The infinite and unlimited has placed itself at the center of our being so that we may know, truly know, who we are. Our knowing this and our willingness to act upon and out of that creates the identity that we live. An identity which no one could ever steal. Too often I think we put on costumes and try to be just like him or just like her, just like this one or that one, when there really is only one, which, if we are wise, we should at all times attempt to be just like, to be the image of God, of Spirit. It is creation and creative. It is love and loving. It is knowledge and it is wisdom and it is understanding. And it is, as we are, unique unto itself. And there is nothing else that it or you or I need to be because, well, it is enough. We are already that. Not intended to be duplicates of one another. If that were the case, then one would have been enough. But instead, we are, at our core, duplicates of the one. Jesus said, "Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." Not the perfect copy of someone or something else, but the perfect version of you. That's what you're meant to be. In 1845, Jane Welsh Carlyle wrote, "Instead of boiling up individuals into the species, I would draw a chalk circle around every individuality and preach to it to keep within that and preserve and cultivate its identity." So, taking a note from Miss Carlyle, allow me to preach for a moment. You are who you are, and it is perfect. You are what you are, and it is the perfect reflection of what you have believed yourself to be up until now. Whatever you have believed until now, believe this: the indwelling Spirit of God is your identity. And you are right now the legitimate child of creation itself. You can change from where you are or who you have believed you are in an instant, as easily as you would change costumes for Halloween. Isaac Singer, in his address at the Nobel Prize banquet in 1978, said, "Children don't read to find their identity. They don't read to free themselves of guilt, to quench the thirst for rebellion, or to get rid of alienation. They have no use for psychology. They still believe in good, in the family, angels, devils, witches, goblins, logic, clarity, punctuation, and other seemingly obsolete stuff." At the risk of repeating an earlier message, one that I know I've delivered before, and that was delivered way before me: be ye as little children. Believe again. Believe again. Believe in yourself, believe in your gifts, believe in your God, and believe that in this very moment, all creation is responding to what you believe. Believe you can be what you dream of being. It's not too late. It's not too early. It's perfect right now. Believe you can feel what you dream of feeling. It's not too late. It's not too early. It's right now. Believe that you are right now becoming the truest image and likeness of who you were meant to be, of God. What would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that taste like and sound like? How would the world know? What would the world see? So here's my challenge for you this week. Wear that costume. Spend the week as you know you were meant to be. Spend the week as you would like to be known by the world, by your nearest and dearest, by God. Design your own costume. You always have, or you abdicated that task to someone else, and it's time to take it back. This is your opportunity to take your life into your own creative hands and claim a new and greater reality. Who are you? Are you a saint or a sinner? A devil or an angel? A creator or a destroyer? You choose. Creative or confused? You choose. Peaceful, poised, and powerful? Or all of the above? You choose. You choose. What does the perfect you look like? Design the costume. Put it on. Feel it. Own it. Claim it. Wear it with pride and confidence. And then when you are truly satisfied with the way you look and feel and live, go ahead and clean out the closet. Feel free to get rid of all of those other costumes, especially the ones in the way back. Feel free to be all you were intended to be. Name it. Claim it. Tell the world about it. And then watch what God can do for you, through you. There's only one costume you ever really need to wear. You've already got it on. You might want to stop covering it up. Have an interesting week. I think you will. So, it is so fun. It is so fun. Yes, there is a cat head that goes by periodically. I'm surprised she hasn't stopped to talk to all of you. She's kind of got an attitude, but I love to see what you lovely people write while I'm talking. I love how your minds work. Good minds, clever minds, smart minds. So, hi, Jefferson. Of course you perked up. Jefferson worked at the costume department, in the costume department at NBC for a long time. Didn't you, Jeff? Took me on a tour. I loved it. Such fun. Donna says one of the nice things about getting older is not caring if people see exactly who you are. But be who you are. That's the whole point, see. Make sure that what they're seeing really is who you really are. A place where God is, where creation is, where joy and happiness and kindness and love and creativity abide. All of that because that's who you are. Let it show. Stop covering it up. Ah. Well, sure, Heidi. If you've got the hats, you might as well have the outfit. Don't you think? Yes, Jennifer, you are. Yes, you are. Creation in action. You look at it, I've been praying for you, and an interesting thing should be happening any moment now. Oh, so, unrelated. Well, maybe not unrelated, after all. Last Wednesday night, I put on the rubber band. Remember, because I was talking about the fact that most of us at one time or another in our lives have put a string around our fingers or a rubber band around our wrists, sometimes so that we could do that. I don't recommend doing that. Why cause yourself pain? That's silly. But we've done that to remind ourselves of something we wanted to be reminded of. So my thought was, as I put the rubber band around my wrist on Wednesday night, that this would remind me that I'm a spiritual being and that life is a spiritual experience. And I even, after we stopped talking on Wednesday night, wrote down on my little rubber band here, life is a spiritual experience. I've been living with that for a couple of days. And while I like it very much, what occurred to me the next morning was the word exercise. Life is a spiritual exercise. And I went back and forth. Did I want experience or did I want exercise? And which one felt like the best word? And I finally came to the conclusion yesterday, I guess, that exercise was definitely the word I wanted. So now I'm in search of another thing to put around my wrist, a nice wide one that I can see, because it has served many times this week already, just since Wednesday, to remind me to stay in the spiritual truth. What's really going on here? What am I really feeling? What is the spiritual response to what is going on? If life is a spiritual exercise, then anytime I'm feeling out of balance or off center or challenged, isn't it time to remember that life is a spiritual exercise? Not just an experience. Here's my logic. If I left it at life as a spiritual experience, there's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely true. But it doesn't call me to do anything in particular except possibly remember that this is a spiritual challenge and I should react. And it feels a little ambivalent. To remember that life is a spiritual exercise, hello Jasmine, goodbye Jasmine, is to remind me that there's something I should be doing, doesn't it? It does for me. It does for me. It says, so exercise. Life is a spiritual exercise. So that's calling me to respond in a spiritual manner. It works for me. I pass it on for whatever it's worth to you. But I love the idea. So I'm going to get myself, I may wear them both. Life is a spiritual, it's not real pretty. It's just a rubber band. But what I discovered, and I wrote on it with my little tool pin, which is a rolling writer kind of thing. I love these pens, incidentally. I've done dishes, I've had my hands in water, I've done all kinds of things, and it hasn't really smeared, it hasn't left me, it's been right here as a reminder. We all need reminders, don't we? Life gets busy. Dana says sometimes it's a challenge when folks get upset because you've changed your costume. True. And then you get to decide what you want to do about that piece of information. It is true. And when you change your costume, when you take off all of the filters and just let you be you, it's going to upset some people. It is. Now, will they come around? Maybe. Maybe not. But you've got to be true to you. You've got to be true to you. You've got to be true to your God self. You've got to be true to the spirit within you, or you will never be truly you. And that would be sad, I think. I'm pretty sure that would be sad. If you were not truly you, if you didn't have that experience, if you didn't exercise that. Yeah, see, Jennifer, thank you. His experience seems passive exercise, sense active learning, growing. Yeah. Do something. Do something. Move. Change things. Yeah, feels, and I think exercise is more active and calls us to do something, which is important because, it's back to that whole thing about, that Holmes talked about too much theory and too little action, too little practice. We need to practice our spirituality. We don't have to have it perfect yet. We'll get there. But we do need to practice it and not just talk about it. I'm looking for two little pieces of paper, if I found them. Yeah, here's the one I was looking for. Someone named Zenkai Shibayama, and I really do apologize because I'm sure I did not do that right, but that's the best I know to do, wrote, "However great the conceptual knowledge and understanding might be, in the face of real experience, concepts are like flakes of snow fallen on a burning fire." Let me read it again. However great the conceptual knowledge and understanding might be, in the face of real experience, concepts are like flakes of snow fallen on a burning fire. We gotta do more than talk about it. We gotta do more than think about it. We gotta do it. Do it. WWGD. What would God do? That would work too. But it might just get you in your head too long. And you might miss an opportunity to be godlike rather than thinking about God. I don't think we're here to think about God. Well, maybe some. But I think ultimately, after thinking about it, we've got to do something about it. We've got to get up off our butts and I can'ts and excuses and all the rest of that and do something. What would God do? What would the God in you do? See, there's the real question, isn't it? What would the God in you do? The God in me might do something totally different. God in Jennifer might do something altogether different. What would the God in you do in the moment? And you'll know when the moments are there because you will feel challenged or off balance or out of sorts, something will feel not quite right. What would the God in you do? Do that. Or at least move in that direction. You know, sometimes I think what occurs to us seems so big that we think we're not up to it. So don't go all the way, but head in that direction. Exercise your spirituality. And you know, in physical exercise, we have to build up to things, don't we? I do. We were taking yoga on a regular basis and doing some qigong and doing tai chi twice a week. And then March hit. And everything got canceled. Everything got canceled. And we did some yoga at home, but it just wasn't the same. Um, you know, trying to watch it on a computer screen upside down through the dining room table because there wasn't enough room to just spread out like you normally would. Anyway, we haven't done most of that in quite a while. And we finally went back to Tai Chi 2 weeks ago because it's being held outdoors and we can wear a mask and we can still socially distance. It was, number one, wonderful to see those people again. They're fabulous and loving and appreciative. We were all appreciative to be there and to be with each other, and we loved it. And I was out of practice. I found myself thinking, I have no idea what comes next. And even if I kind of have an idea, I'm not sure how to get my body from here to there. Uh, it I didn't like the first night. I was glad to see the people, but I didn't like my exercising of the process. So we've been back now, I think, the fourth time this past Thursday. And muscle memory is starting to kick in. And I find my body if I get out of my head, my body kind of knows what it's supposed to be doing next. It's not perfect yet. Yet. And I don't know that it'll ever be perfect. What I do know is that it's getting better all the time. What would God do? God would trust that my body knows the process and will remember and isn't afraid to look a little foolish in the process. Life is a spiritual exercise, and we are meant to be exercising. All of us, one way or another. Okay, then. There's Cat. Yes, our Tai Chi sensei is 83 years young. And experiencing some back challenges right now and still out there on the grass doing her movements and graceful and beautiful. Good point, Jennifer. Be careful what you practice so that you don't make permanent things you don't really want. Yeah. Spiritual exercise. Practice your spirituality. Do the kind thing, do the loving thing, do the creative thing, do the joyful thing, do those things. What would God do? What would God in you do? You know, see, the answers are down in there. They're within you. They are. They really are. The answers are there. So go there. If you don't think you know what to do, go there and say, what would God do? And then do that, or head at least in the direction of doing that. I highly recommend the rubber band thing Or if you've got a pretty little bracelet you can write on. I think the words are important. That's why I'm kind of pushing rubber bands right now. If you have one of those gel bracelets, maybe you can write on that. I don't know. I haven't tried doing that yet. I know the rubber band worked really, really well. And mine says, is a spiritual exercise. Exercise. Which is wonderful on several levels because it takes the guilt out of it, if there were to be guilt. And it just reminds me to exercise it spiritually. Spiritually. And we can all do that. We can all do that at some level. So do it at whatever level you are. It will keep growing. It will keep getting better. I promise you that. I can make that promise. So, with that promise in mind, let's pray. Because I don't want to leave you wonderful people without praying first. So, let's take a moment. Close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you. Or just soft focus so that your attention is going within. There is another quote on the same page as the one I read a few moments ago. It's from Rinpoche. And it says this: let the sky outside awake a sky within your mind. So let us do that. Let us picture in our mind a brilliant sky. Bright, brilliant blue. Vast and endless. Surrounding us, encompassing us. Providing for us. Blessing us. Protecting us. All of that and so much more. Unlimited. Unbounded. Endless and eternal and evolving. Enduring, endearing, effortless, all within our own mind. All instantly available. We have only to turn to it, to perceive it, to become aware of it, to exercise it. Is it God, this vastness? Well, yes, it must be. For all that there is God. Is it all of God? I think not. But all that it is. Like each of us. All that it is God. And so when we turn to it, when we say, when we ask, what would God do? We know. The answers are there. The solutions are instantly available. The ways, the means, all right there. As near as our next thought. As close as our next breath. As unlimited as our belief. And so we turn to it now. We turn to it now. And feel its presence. Feel its power. And know that within it is contained all that we will ever need or desire. And we are lifted out of our fears, out of our littleness, out of our doubt and confusion, out of our craziness, lifted to a higher place where we know truly that the ancient words hold a promise. God and I are one. Creation and I are one. Life and I are one. And knowing this, we are blessed beyond imagining. We know now that we will find the answers we seek. We will find the way we desire. We will find ourselves and be nothing less than that which we were born to be. In deepest gratitude. We simply allow that to be true. We turn our attention now from the vastness within to the sky above. And know that it and we and God are one. And so it is. Another great Sunday. And of course, CAC has found us blank wristbands upon which we can write life as a spiritual exercise. Or Anything you darn well please. 24-hour wristbands. Who knows? Yes, Heidi. It is. And always has been. It's been a great Sunday. I love you all. I'll be back here Wednesday at 7 p.m. and again next Sunday at noon, which will be an hour different. Fall back. The night, Halloween night, when you go to bed, turn your clocks back an hour so that you'll be in tune with the finite on Sunday morning when daylight savings time goes out of effect. Have a great week. Find that perfect costume and be who you really are. There's nothing better. I love you. Bless you. See you real soon.